On a hot summer day in 1892, there was an ordinary life in the small town of Fall River, Massachusetts. But that day, a tragedy far from ordinary would unfold. Lizzie Borden, 32 years old, born into wealth, led a life in the outskirts of town. However, that day, Lizzie's life and the fate of Fall River would change forever. In Fall River, Andrew Borden, a wealthy businessman, and his second wife, Abby Borden, lived a well-established life. But the tensions within their family and strict rules created a pressure that Lizzie couldn't bear. Andrew Borden was a harsh man, and he kept his family, especially his daughter, under strict control. Lizzie had dreams of independence, but her father intervened at every opportunity to direct her life. These authoritarian actions caused a rift in Lizzie's mental world. Lizzie's relationship with her father was icy, and she didn't get along well with her stepmother, Abby. The unease within the family had only grown in the days leading up to the murders. On the morning of August 19, 1892, Lizzie's life and the fate of the Borden family were about to change. Andrew Borden was home early that morning. His stepmother, Abby, was doing her chores inside. Lizzie was not alone in the house, but unfortunately, the tranquility would soon transform into a bloodbath. The first knife strikes came unexpectedly. Early that morning, Andrew Borden was murdered in the living room. Shortly after, his stepmother, Abby, was found murdered in an upstairs room. After the murders, Lizzie Borden's reaction was strange. When the police arrived, Lizzie appeared unnaturally calm and composed. Lizzie, at first, didn't seem to suspect anything and tried to assist the police. However, as the investigation deepened, contradictory statements and suspicions began to emerge. Lizzie's first interrogation baffled many. She remained eerily calm, answering questions with a lack of urgency. The evidence found at the crime scene only deepened suspicions. Andrew Borden's body was found in the living room, drenched in blood. Abby's body was discovered in the upstairs room, also bloodied. Several knives were missing, and one critical piece of evidence was Lizzie's contradictory statements during the investigation, complicating the case. Lizzie Borden went to trial in 1893. The courtroom was filled with townsfolk and journalists. Most people believed Lizzie was guilty. However, Lizzie's lawyers did everything they could to get her acquitted. In the end, the court gave its verdict and Lizzie Borden was acquitted. However, the people of Fall River continued to believe in her guilt. Lizzie's status as the prime suspect in the murders remained strong in the public's eye. After the trial, Lizzie Borden was set free, but she would live the rest of her life as an outcast. People continued to whisper, "Was Lizzie Borden guilty?" Even though she was acquitted, she was never able to escape the shadow of suspicion. Was Lizzie Borden really guilty, or was she just a woman upon whom the crime was pinned? The true events will never be fully understood. Lizzie Borden became a symbol of one of America's darkest mysteries,